Good morning, and welcome to another Writer's Morning Commute with Ashton Gaskill. In my reread of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, I've finally moved on past Elantris to Mistborn: The Final Empire. The first book of Brandon's that I read, besides his Wheel of Time contributions, was this book, Mistborn. Had it suggested to me by a friend, and I was home for Christmas break from college and didn't have anything to do. I was super bored, decided to go buy a book, got there, realized I didn't know what I wanted to buy now that Wheel of Time was over, and I remembered this friend suggesting it, so I went ahead and picked up a box set of the trilogy. Went home, cracked it open later, and I remember very vividly just falling into this book, like instantly starting to love it, being mesmerized by the world, really enjoying the characters and the magic system and just everything about it. That doesn't happen to me with every book, especially as I branch out from the highest tier of fantasy. I found some things I enjoyed, and I found some things I didn't enjoy, and some of the things I've enjoyed, hasn't always been as engrossing as those were for me when I was starting them. That said, when I went back and started reading Wheel of Time for the second time, I found it hard to get back into, and I was really afraid that I was going to have similar feelings about Mistborn and Brandon's other earlier books. When I reread Elantris, I turned out to like it more than I liked it the first time, which oddly still kind of made me worry that I was going to end up disliking Mistborn somehow, or realizing some sort of horrible flaw that I didn't notice before. But so far that hasn't happened. I'm only a few chapters in, maybe 5 or 6 chapters in, but it's much more gripping than Elantris was on the reread, and I'm still just loving every page. It's very good. I'm still liking it very much. And one of the things that I've noticed about Mistborn versus, especially when compared to Elantris, is that its world has a lot of characteristic visuals. Another of Sanderson's works that I had a bit of issue with was actually the second era of the Mistborn world, the Wax and Wane books. I thought their characters were good, and the writing was fine, but I always felt like it was missing something that the earlier Mistborn books had. And I think part of that is that maybe Brandon and his team aren't being as aggressive in their editing. I think some things have slipped through that wouldn't have slipped through before if he were still an up-and-coming author. But that aside, I think the other thing I've realized as I've started this book is those characteristic visuals. There are a lot of characters and organizations in the original Mistborn series that have very striking images. The Obligators have these face tattoos that get increasingly intricate as their rank goes up. That's a cool idea and a cool visual. You have the Mistborn cloak, and these interesting suits. You have this world where is so different from our own, and they constantly have, cloudy skies and ash falling from the sky and these mists that come into, the world every night. You have all of that working together, in addition to the, interesting architecture and the unique fantasy setting, like Revolutionary era France isn't a setting that we see a lot of fantasy worlds based on. And it's really cool to see all of that individual stuff come together into a very cohesive world. And that gives you, a better mental image. It gives you a world that's so different from your own that you can really get immersed into it. And you want to get immersed into it. Like, it's something I want to explore. I want to be a Mistborn and, be on a thief team and be zipping through the air on magical, little blue beams of light things. So as a writer, I think it's important to take in mind how your readers are going to see your world. Give them opportunities to cosplay. Give them, some outfits and costumes and uniforms. Give them really striking imagery that if somebody dressed up as that or drew fan art of it, it could be immediately identified as, hey, that's this person's world. I think that'll really help your world stand out in the long run. Thank you for writing with me. I hope you have a great day.